this afternoon's top stories. Labour Department to conduct more job site visits this year. Regional leaders condemn Trump's Mexico wall, and hundreds leave refugee camps as Iraq army makes gains. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Thursday, the 26th of January 2017. I am Shaira Flanders. Nationally, officials from the Department of Labour on St. Kitts are expected to have an increased presence at various workplaces to ensure that labour relations remain cordial and the environment is safe and healthy for all. At the first in a series of town hall meetings under the theme Good Governance and Accountability for Prosperity on Tuesday, Minister of Labour Honourable Vance Amory said that stable relations between employees and employers are critical to the continued growth of the economy.
We are not here to wait for complaints to come for us to adjust those complaints. We're taking a proactive approach to the business of labor arrangement. And the report from the acting labor commissioner is that they will be doing at least 25 site visits every month.
Safety concerns and employee performance at construction sites have traditionally been an area where a high number of complaints have been registered at the department. Labour officials are preparing to host a workshop for contractors in the first week of March to ensure that they are up to speed with their obligations under the labour laws, as well as to improve the safety record of construction sites. However, the goal of the department is to improve occupational standards across the board.
These are things which we have to address so that our people who work in those establishments, whether it's at Port Zante or on the Peninsula or at the Marriott or at OTI or at TDC or Horsfords or wherever people work, that we have to be satisfied that they are treated fairly and in accordance with the law.
Amory also noted that it was important for employees to work hard and give their best to the employers, as the success of the business is in their best interest. He said employers must, quote, be satisfied that the people whom they hire to work will give a fair and honest day's work for a fair and honest day's pay. With water rationing now resumed for Bastia and the nearby areas, the head of the Water Services Department is calling on everyone to do what they can to save water. Acting Water Manager Denison Paul shared a few tips on ways to help persons conserve while the rationing is ongoing.
Have been year-round years now, particularly since the drought, trying to encourage our people to conserve water. Conserve means to save, not to waste, to use it wisely. And so there are several tips we have been repeating over and over again, that you don't have to shower for 20 minutes. A 5-minute shower with the tap off and your soap and your rinse, a 5-minute shower is good enough. You don't have to have the water running while you're brushing your teeth.
Paul noted that persons have improved their conservation skills since the drought began in 2015.
So I have to give the people credit. We are seeing signs that our people are wasting less and that the message is finally getting through. I have worked at the water department all my life, and for the first time in 2015 I have seen water rationing. It means that we don't have the water we used to. The little we have to waste it less, so that government would not have to spend millions upon millions of dollars for new water, for new capital projects, when we can do what we know is best for all of us.
The water rationing began on Wednesday and will run from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily. The areas affected are the Bastia, Bird Rock, Half Moon and the Southeast Peninsula regions. The police say results of a search at Her Majesty's prison on Tuesday morning are indicating that the new security measures are productive. The search was carried out by prison officers and supported by the Police Special Services Unit, or SSU, the Anti-Drug Unit, officers of the Defense Force and a K9 team. Among the items seized were one cellular phone with a charger, 5 cigarette lighters, a Ziploc bag containing cigarettes, 4 bottles of a liquid suspected to be wine, and a pair of slippers which were used to hide the contraband. Commenting on the recent search, Deputy Commissioner of Police Mr. Hilroy Brandy said, quote, "I am encouraged by the find. The numbers clearly show that the measures taken by Prison Superintendent Hodge and his team are bearing fruit," end of quote. He added, "We will continue to assist in these ongoing operations to ensure a secure prison environment, one free of contraband. This is a cat and mouse game, and I am encouraged by the results of this search." The president of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Petition-born Sir Dennis Byron, says the implementation of new civil procedures will add transparency to Guyana's law system. He was featured in this Capital News report.
Last November, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams laid new civil procedure rules before the National Assembly. These rules would go on to provide new guidelines for civil proceedings and ease congestion in courts. The President of the Caribbean Court of Justice noted that not only would these procedures increase transparency in the judicial system, but would allow individuals to understand more about the court system.
And you're going to have a more transparent system where people know more about how the court is operating. And a lot of the issues that people have been bothered about are going to be addressed if these rules are properly applied. The Chancellor mentioned that you shouldn't expect the rules to be perfect, and that is true. You know, I've been talking a little bit about these days about the international framework of court excellence and everybody's desire to have an excellent court or an excellent court system. But the point that is emphasized over and over again is that you do not reach a state of excellence.
The new procedures have been praised for bringing Guyana in line with regional civil procedures, but must be efficiently adhered to for their success. Once the rules went into effect, state attorneys, judges, and magistrates received training to educate them on the new procedures, which would reform the way civil matters are handled. However, Williams questioned the length of time it took for the new rules to be implemented.
So there were some peculiarities under the last regime with respect to the functioning of the judiciary that really leave a lot to be answered. Why is it after 10 years we are still talking about new civil procedure rules? And I believe it's only because I decided to take the bull by the horn.
Williams claims that an uncoordinated system has caused several issues over the years. Reporting for Capital News, Keisha Jokes.
Moving on to news on the regional scene, Latin American leaders have condemned U.S. President Donald Trump's executive order to start building the U.S.-Mexico wall. They are meeting with Caribbean leaders in the Dominican Republic for an annual summit, and the Trump administration's America First policies are high on the agenda. Al Jazeera's Lucia Newman reports from Punta Cana.
Unity in the face of adversity, from the political right to the left. Representatives of 33 Latin American and Caribbean nations expressed outrage in the face of President Donald Trump's vow to build a so-called wall of infamy to separate the U.S. from its southern neighbors.
Now is the time we need to defend ourselves in the face of these new threats.
Conspicuously absent here was Mexico's president, Enrique Peña Nieto, who abruptly canceled his trip after getting wind that Trump was about to announce new border security measures.
Quiero recordarle al presidente de Estados Unidos y a su gobierno.
I call on the President of the United States to carry out an immigration policy that respects human rights.
Latin American and Caribbean leaders are clearly worried about Washington's vow to limit or even cut regional free trade, described by summit host Danilo Medina as the phantom of protectionism and trade wars. It's a new reality, one that will have consequences in the entire region, but nowhere more so than in those countries that are closest to the United States, that depend on remittances and trade with their northern neighbor, a country that until just 1 week ago was considered a friend and a partner. Guatemala's foreign minister warns it may cost the United States dearly.
En este mundo globalizado, que en eso no hay retroceso, There is no going back on globalization, and then a void is left in the marketplace. Someone else fills it. In this case, in our region, it could be China, which is already becoming a key player.
There's a new sense of urgency to build a strong regional alliance to offset the White House's new trade and border policies, which are seen by many here not just as protectionism, but as acts of hostility. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Punta Cana, Dominican Republic.
In other regional news out of Guyana, young people from so-called depressed communities graduated last weekend with entrepreneurial skills gained during a training program sponsored by the police of Division A. Javon Vickery has the details on that story.
These promising young entrepreneurs come from several communities including Alboystown, Agricola, Muckle and Charlestown. And as a means of fighting against criminal influence, the A Division of the Guyana Police Force, through their youth initiative, has given over 200 children the opportunity to obtain entrepreneurial skills. According to Commander of A Division Clifton Hicken, the youths for the past several months were exposed to training in marketing, business management, and production. The hope of the police is to deter youths from the negative influences which could lead to criminal practices.
Looking at the community needs, we recognize that added to the skill training, there's an urgent need for young entrepreneurs because it helps them to think out of the box too. And we decided that we are going to give recognition to the communities in which these children belong by branding the community. So if you look to the eastern side on the table, that the items displayed, you will find it's specific to a particular group, a particular community. So just for an example, we know that Diamond Grove, youths coming from Diamond are producing Middays. We know that the Agricola youths, they are producing fudge.
The young entrepreneurs were given an opportunity to market their products at a small expo at the Officers' Mess Hall, Ivlery, last Saturday. Packaged snacks such as plantain chips to bottled pepper were on sale. Meanwhile, Director of Youth Melissa Carmichael spoke at length about the importance of an education when running a business. She pledged support on behalf of the Ministry of Education to assist in whatever way they can.
The Ministry of Education, Department of Culture, Youth and Sport will be working tirelessly in 2017 to ensure that our young entrepreneurs are placed, to ensure that they're given the support they need to take their businesses and their products forward. This year we will spend a lot of monies to showcase our creators and inventors. We are here to ensure that you are recognized for what you can be.
More than 400 members of youth groups across the country will continue training in marketing. Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.
As U.S. President Donald Trump continues to fulfill his campaign promises, on Wednesday he signed executive orders that began to honor one of those commitments. It is expected that the U.S. president will temporarily put a stop to the refugee visa program. Here's more.
Throughout his campaign, Donald Trump promised to be tough on immigration, and on Wednesday he signed executive orders that began to fulfill that pledge. Construction of a wall along the U.S. border with Mexico has been given the go-ahead, but changes to immigration policy are far from over. It's thought President Trump will temporarily end a visa program for citizens of 7 Middle Eastern and African nations, including Syria, Yemen and Iraq. The president's made it clear he wants a more aggressive screening program, but many in the Muslim community say the move is both unnecessary and divisive.
Very unproductive, very inefficient, and just fosters that rhetoric that is so damaging to the American fabric.
I don't see why they would be deported if they haven't done anything bad to this country.
And for the children of undocumented immigrants, these are worrying times. Francis Toomey is protected by the DREAM Act, a piece of legislation that allows him to work in the US, and one that the president has said he may change.
It's very worrying. Like I said, I've been here since I was 6, so I consider myself an American. I pledge allegiance to the flag, and like growing up with my friends, I've always felt like I belong here.
The changes President Trump has made to the US's immigration policy will adversely affect the lives of countless people. There are more executive orders to follow, but advocacy groups for refugees and migrants say now more than ever they'll continue to fight back. The president's executive orders are likely to face legal challenges, but campaigners say it's the ballot box where the most effective action can be taken.
And 2020, there's a new opportunity to elect a new president. So, we will see the repercussions of the executive orders. We're not going to stay quiet. We need to organize to elect new people.
President Trump says the U.S. is now taking control of its borders. But for many, the U.S. remains a nation that builds bridges, not walls. Andy Gallagher, Al Jazeera, Miami, Florida.
And now for the weather. Current conditions are partly cloudy with a light breeze of 6 miles per hour from the northeast. Seas are moderate with waves of less than 5 feet. Weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis predicts a high pressure system nearby will keep shower activity near minimum. Possible rainfall total for the next 24 hours is 0 to 1 millimeter. Weather today will be partly cloudy with a 30% or moderate chance of showers. Weather tonight will be mostly clear with a 10% or slight chance of showers. That brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Shaira Flanders. Have a good one.